Welcome in. It is ACC Baseball Etc, presented as always by Pitch Logic, the system used by players, coaches, scouts, and instructors at all levels of play, from youth leagues to the big leagues. The easy-to-use and affordable technology makes the platform accessible to every player at every level. All the metrics and features used at the highest level. Go to pitchlogic.com for more information. Hi, I'm Daron Vaught. Danny Graves is here. Look, this is going to be a quick edition of the show, mainly to have a little fun, catch up, and let you guys know that we are still alive and kicking. We are still doing this show. It is just, look, it's the off season, and there's not as much to talk about, but we do like to check in here and there. So in the interest of catching up, Gravy, good to see you. How are things?
Good to see you too. Yeah, it's interesting because yes, there's no baseball going on right now that we follow religiously, but you know, some of the guys that we talk to, they're in professional baseball. They got drafted now, so we got to leave them alone. There's transfers coming in. We don't know who's coming in to go and where. So it's kind of hard for us to talk about some of these teams, right? When we don't know exactly who's going to be there. So, but yeah, we are still alive. Everything's going great. Finally, my stuff has calmed down and I have nothing going on except the husband and dad stuff at home. Just finished the Little League World Series regionals recently in Waco, and the Little League World Series actually starts rather soon. I think today or tomorrow. So after that little my little regional appearance, that I'm done, dude. Like I don't know like what I'm going to do. Like I go to these hockey things with my kid and parents and everybody talk, and I just get to sit there and listen. I don't have to talk. So,
nice. Yeah, that's good. I mean, at least for a little bit, that's really good. So
I'm going to get the itch to talk again soon, though, of course. So what about you? What's been going on with you?
USA Baseball. That's pretty much been it this summer. I've got my broadcast interns. One has already gone back to school. Shout out Kylie at Florida State. She did a great job this summer. I've got 3 left. They finish up later this week.
Wait, why did she get to go sooner?
Her program starts. She was the only one who had graduated undergrad. She starts a graduate degree. And it starts a couple weeks earlier in Tallahassee. And I've had I should say at USA Baseball, I've had, West Coast interns who go to school out there where they do the quarter system. So it throws off the scheduling for interns when they come from and go back to school. So it's always staggered to some degree. I've had my 4 broadcast interns. USA Baseball is right here in Cary, North Carolina. So that is kind of a nice, my regional travel when I'm calling games during the other seasons, and it's a lot. So it's kind of nice to just have it almost plays a lot more like a day job, which is not something I'm used to, right? Like you show up for a day of work and you go home and you leave it there and that's that. So it's been nice.
Relatively drive home.
Like relatively low key summer because of that, but that's been welcomed. We were trying to do this sort of catch up a couple of weeks ago, and then I got COVID for the first time in 4.5 years, and had some family stuff up in Virginia. So it's been a little bit busier in this last couple of weeks because of that. Busy, I say, like COVID, I just sat here at home and didn't do anything.
But it's exhausting having COVID. So
So thankfully, and again, this was my first time popping a positive test. I mean, it's hard to say whether or not we've all had it at one point or another, but
first time you tested positive.
Yeah, which is a surprise because I've still been out and about doing games and traveling with teams. I've tested a lot over the past several years. So that being said, thankfully, it is not what it once was. And it was pretty minimal symptomatically. So thankful for that. It was pretty easy to get through, and we just kind of I got to sleep a ton for 4 or 5 days.
Which is something that you haven't done in decades, I'm sure.
Which is something I don't do a lot. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was good. In a weird way, it was good for me.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
Well, glad you're okay. I mean,
yeah,
it's
thanks.
definitely different now, but I can't believe it took you this long to get it. I say it like it's like we all have to have it. You got to get it.
Yeah,
Try it one day.
So, I see you're rocking your KC Monarchs cap.
Yeah.
That's a good look. I know you guys did the family vacation, and you were able to go to the Negro Leagues Museum. I'm actually headed that way next month, so I'll be a first time visitor. So I'm curious what your experience was like.
Yeah. So you got to let me know when you go, and I'll see if Bob Kendrick is going to be there, because you have to talk to him.
Yeah.
Just the way that he's such a storyteller, and just the amount of information he has locked up in his brain. You're like, this guy's not real. Like, how does he know all this stuff, and how does he remember all this stuff? So, but it was an amazing trip. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I've been friends with Bob and his assistant Keona Sinks for quite some time, and always communicating, phone, email, social media, but never met them in person until this last trip. And man, what an experience. When you go, Daron, you got to take as much time as you need, because you can walk through it in 20 minutes, or you can walk through it and read everything and take you a few hours. Like, there's so much information there everywhere you turn. The biggest thing was, so right when you walk in, and we didn't realize this until Bob told us afterwards, but right when you walk in, there's like a little welcoming lobby, and has, every Negro League team that played. It's on this big, huge lit up chart, and it's got video of former presidents welcoming everybody to the Negro League Museum. Well, when you look to the left, there's a field, like a mini field with life-size bronze statues of like Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson behind home plate, Cool Papa Bell, Buck Leonard, Judy Johnson. My son took a picture with Judy Johnson at shortstop, like bent over in the fielding position. So like, these are life-size pictures or statues of the players, but you can't get to it. So it's almost like I want to go out there. I want to see these statues. Well, Bob told us afterwards that the whole meaning of that was they did this purposely because they want fans and to be able to go through the museum, read about the history, find out about the history. And then once you get past all the history of the Negro Leagues and the racism that happened back then you actually get to go on the field, just like they did. They had to go through so much before they actually got to play on the field with.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. You see what I'm getting at? Like, and
interesting. That's cool. Okay.
I'm getting chills right now. When he told us that, it was just absolutely amazing the way that it's set up. And I don't know if I should have told you that, but that's the best part, because when you get there, well, I'm glad I told you, because you might not see him and you might not be able to have that story told, but that's
or for people listening who may or may not go at some point, like now they know,
or if anybody that's gone and are wondering why it's like that, that's why it's like that, because he wants you to go through the history, not what they went through physically, but kind of reading about what they went through, and then you can finally get on the field to be with the players. And it was amazing.
That's so cool. Interesting that they set it up that way. That's remarkable. Cool. All right. Well, so you had a good time.
Had a blast.
You guys did a Royals game too, right?
Yeah. We went to the Royals Cardinals game. So I grew up a Cardinals fan.
Right.
And, so Willie McGee was one of my guys growing up, and I actually got to talk to him last year at a Cubs and Cardinals game. And he remembered me, which was like, because I'd faced him at the end of his career. And so he remembered me. He's like, oh yeah. So I was looking forward to seeing him again, but we didn't get to the stadium in time. So I didn't get a chance to see him, but we ended up staying for about 6 innings of the game. And just a different feeling at that stadium. That stadium was the last stadium that I threw a major league pitch on. I gave up a homer.
I saw you post about this. Please tell this story. Like it's again amazing to me that you probably have the photographic memory, the videographic memory of the last pitch you threw in the majors.
Yeah, and the batter. So I was with Cleveland at the time, 2006, and just things weren't working out good for me. And I came in, and I don't even remember what the score was, but it was kind of like almost a mop-up situation. Middle of the game, and John Buck, the catcher for the Royals, he took me deep. Fastball, it was in, and it wasn't in. It's supposed to be in, and he took me deep, and then I got taken out. And at that time, it's like, you don't think that's going to be your last pitch you ever throw in the big leagues. But it turns out it was my last pitch. And then sitting there, our seats were like along the third base line. And I'm like, just watching this home run go. Like every inning, I'm just saying, okay, there goes the home run I gave up. There it goes. I just could not get it out of my mind. But I wasn't like sad about it or anything. It's like, it's funny now that my last pitch that I threw in the big leagues was a homer, but yeah.
It's fun. It reminds me of the line from The Sandlot, like about I'm paraphrasing. I don't know it word for word, but it's based in summary. It's just like, there was a time when you went out to play ball with your friends, and you didn't realize it at the time, but it was the last time you went out to play ball with your friends, right?
Yeah, yes, that's exactly what it was. And like I said, wasn't sad about it, but it was just like, man, why did that have to be my last pitch? Why couldn't I throw one more pitch?
Right. Yeah. Throw one more, even take you out on like a 1-0 count, right? Like
yes. Or even like if I just walked somebody or hit somebody or gave up a hit, not a homer, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, it was cool to be back there. That's the first time I've been back there since 2006. So
nice. How cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else can we talk about? All right, let's maybe wedge in one general ACC/college baseball thing. Could you give me like if you could name one thing you're excited about for next season? Does something come to mind?
Yeah, that Miami is going to use the NIL for the first time ever in baseball.
What did I see? 6'4" Analytics had them as the number 7 transfer class in the country.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I think that's encouraging.
That's huge, because it used to be if you weren't top 5 at Miami standards, if you weren't top 5 recruiting every year, then something's wrong. Like, because that was the biggest thing, like having top recruits want to come to Miami. And of course, things change and the game changes a little bit. And now this NIL stuff, but for so long without the NIL, how can you be ranked even in the top 10 in recruiting if you're not going to use NIL? Right.
Yeah. I had seen the part of the cool thing about my sort of dual existence in both places of amateur baseball is with USA Baseball. We host 15U, 16U champs and tournaments, like, travel baseball tournaments. So a lot of top prospects play there.
Yeah.
So I get to, in turn, see a bunch of ACC coaches making their way through recruiting during the summer when it's, the off season for them too. Although, as I joke with all of them, the off season does not exist for them anymore.
Right.
But I saw Miami's coaches several times this summer, and every time I would see that, they raved about the transfer class. Yeah. So that's, again, it's good to hear them talk about it the way that they talked about it, but then also see some third parties rave about it in the way that it's been ranked by some. So
nice.
So again,
so did you see Rob Cooper? Rob Cooper, did you get to see?
Yeah.
It's my guy, man.
I got
I
to
love that dude.
Yeah, we man, yeah, that was, I think I texted you, right? Didn't I? I might have, maybe not.
You probably
there was
did.
a former teammate of yours too that I met. Trying to
Oh
remember.
yeah. Danny Rios. That's right.
Yeah, I met Danny Rios.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, no, it's cool because Rios's kid was on one of the teams.
Right.
And,
That's what you said.
Yeah.
And
Rios,
so I've never seen anybody throw a baseball farther than Danny Rios. Like
he looked like maybe he could still fire one. Like he's in great shape.
Dude, I don't know if you can picture Mark Light Stadium right now. The scoreboard is pretty big. It's probably bigger now than it was back then, but he would stand on the foul line and first base foul line and throw it towards left center field over the scoreboard, like literally over the scoreboard onto the track behind the baseball field. Never seen anything like it. I don't know how he did it. Insane.
Yeah. So yeah, so like it's been a cool summer in that regard, being able to see. I was talking with Rios and our guy Anderson from Miami and
Jonathan,
Jonathan Anderson. Yeah. I actually saw him several times this summer because he's the recruiting guy there now. So no, it was good to occasionally when I did see those guys. And I know the rules have changed in terms of, when you can start talking to players. So that's altered it a little bit in terms of who I see when, but no, it was a good summer for that. It's cool to just be, out at one of the backfields at the complex. And it's like, boom, here's Chris Pollard of Duke. Like here's, So I got to see a little bit of everybody around the ACC, which is nice. Saw some coaches from other conferences. Jay Johnson's been around a lot. Tony Vitello's been around a lot. So, just.
Yeah. We don't care about the SEC.
No. But a bunch of scouts too. I've got some scouting friends that I see pretty regularly this time of year. So it's been good in the way of that stuff. Just like, seeing people it's the scouts and the coaches, obviously, too. Like I see them during the college baseball season. So it's cool to get the touch points over the summer when it's a little less hectic, a little more laid back. And
after the draft,
coaches aren't as necessary. Like they're not locked in on getting a win that day when you see them at the complex.
They're not standoffish anymore, or they don't big league you anymore. Yeah. I know that feeling. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's been great. All right. So
that's pretty cool though, dude. Yeah. I need to come up there one summer and just,
you should. Well, because when you were on Team USA, where did you guys play? Was it at Milligan in Tennessee?
Millington, Tennessee.
Millington. Sorry. Milligan is a former college rival of mine at the Division III level, actually. But it's in Tennessee. So Millington, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. That's where our home was. Yeah.
And they've just put in the new offices and facility there, sort of up on the hill. If you can envision the main field, Coleman Field, just beyond the wall and left, there's a little hill. So it's a berm beyond the wall. But on top of the hill now, there is all of the full-time staffers' offices. There's an indoor facility connected to it. It's a cool setup. So yeah, you have to. I don't know what the excuse would be, but we got to get you up here at some point.
Yeah, it's probably a little nicer than Millington. I remember walking into our showers in the clubhouse, and you had to walk through. Picture a meat market, the rubber curtains that are there before you go into the cold freezer.
Yeah,
that's how we got into the shower. We had to we had to work out and get all of our these heavy curtains, whatever you call them, the rubber curtains, just to get into the shower. Felt like we were going to the meat market, get chopped up. Yeah,
that's good.
I'm sure North Carolina doesn't have that.
No. So given that we've got a couple of new entrants into the ACC this coming season, I had the first conversation I've ever had just the other day with Stanford's head coach, David Esker.
Okay.
I'm excited about the addition of those two programs. That's what I'll say I'm excited about. Okay. Also, I got to look at the top two pitchers for Stanford. They were both on the collegiate national team. Matt Scott and Joey Volchko. Really like legit dudes. Stanford's got a lot coming back. In case you are unaware, Rintaro Sasaki is a huge deal. Yes. He is their Japanese phenom who is skirting the process of typically out of high school, a Japanese player would either go to the college equivalent in Japan or straight to the NPB, their professional league. Then they would have to wait some time before they post for free agency to Major League Baseball. Rintaro is doing this thing where he is trying to bypass all of that and blaze a trail, in a sense, by playing college baseball in the United States. He's been at Stanford. He was there in the spring working out. He has like this Paul Bunyan-esque aura about him now, because there's the language barrier. There's the mystique of, I was talking to Coach Esker, and we talked a little bit about the recruitment of Rintaro. I mean, if you can imagine it, it's not like they were, like Miami's coaches were at the complex in Cary to see, Rios's kid or other players and that sort of thing. It's not like they were taking recruiting trips to Japan. Right. So you see a bunch of video if you can get your hands on it. Otherwise, they didn't really see a ton of him until he got to campus in the spring. So it's almost mythical. And not that he's not a project and he doesn't have flaws in his game or things to improve on, but there's a reason he's garnering this much attention. He's good. He's good. And I would expect him to be the starting first baseman right in the middle of the lineup for Stanford. In addition to what they've got coming back, which I believe includes 100% of their innings pitched are coming back.
They didn't lose one pitcher?
If I'm not mistaken, 100% of their innings pitched will be back next season, which is rare, even for young, bad teams, right? That. So I'm really interested in what Stanford's going to bring to the ACC.
Did you talk to him about like the travel? Like, what's he think about the travel?
A little bit. And now schedules are currently embargoed. So I don't know how much of that I'm able to disclose.
It
does sound like it's going to be relatively normal. Like the fact that they are across the country from other teams in the conference, I don't know that it was really taken into consideration, I'm sure. I don't know that adjustments were made because of that.
Right.
Is what I'll say. I think it's going to play out to be kind of a normal schedule.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for them having to travel because their program's getting a lot of money from the conference, obviously, to be in the conference. So, at the end of the day, it's kind of like when you're in the big leagues, you got to travel too.
Yeah.
You travel from one side of the country to the other. So, it's going to take some adjusting, obviously, especially like not just those two teams, but all the teams on the East Coast that aren't used to going way out there on the West Coast.
So like if you think about it, and again, this is proximity, right? This is what I know best. So like Duke to UNC, they're busing.
Yeah.
Either of those two, to and from NC State, they're taking a bus. Wake Forest is a little bit farther away, but you're still going to bus.
Still take a bus, yeah.
This is a 10-hour round trip. Like it's roundabout 5-hour flight to get to Palo Alto or Berkeley, 5 hours back. It's going to change things for some of the Eastern teams here too, which is just super interesting to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyways, I mean, Esker's looking forward to it. By the way, I didn't realize this. His wife has a PhD in psychology from UNC, so he's very familiar with Chapel Hill.
Okay.
He would tell me he was looking forward to going to Miami because he loves the city, and he was going to get a Cuban sandwich and
Cuban coffee. You got to get some Cuban coffee too.
Yeah. So he's got, I think he said some guys who used to be in his program are up in Boston that he'll visit when they go to BC. So it was cool to hear him embrace the travel aspect and the trips that are associated with it. Now, you get in the middle of a season where you don't have as many wins as you think you might have. I wonder if he'll feel differently about it, but
he won't
right now, pretty excited.
Yeah, he won't blame it on the travel. I mean, I don't know him personally, but just watching him and knowing what kind of dude he is, he's not going to blame it on the travel. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. The big question here, real quick, is our friend Kyle Peterson is a Stanford dude. Now, is
ACC legend now.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's he going to do?
He's an ACC guy, obviously.
He's got to be. He's got to be. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
So it has been way too long since we have visited the Hall of Name, if you will.
Yeah.
Way too long. This is the part of the show where we tap into Danny's experiences as a collegiate Team USA major league closer, and we let him close out the show by giving us a glimpse into his rock and roll style world back in the day. I name a player. This is how it goes. I name a player that usually is a former teammate of his, but we've taken some turns lately that it doesn't necessarily exclusively have to make it a teammate. So I name a player.
That's the etc. part.
Yeah, the ETC is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this summer episode, right? Like we all right. So I name a player and Danny gives us whatever he's got. Word association, story association, awkward interaction, awesome interaction with this person, whatever he's got. So it's the slow summer, so I've got some time to consider firing up Immaculate Grid on my phone most days. I got out of this habit when things get busy, and it's not something that I actively think about pulling up. But I did it today.
Okay.
Today is one of those big career achievement grids. So the cells on the top are 40 plus career WAR, 500 plus home runs for a career, and a gold glove, at least one gold glove. The cells on the left are 2,000 plus career hits, 300 plus average for a career, and born outside the U.S., 50 states and D.C. Okay. So in the cell that reads 2,000 plus hits and gold glove, I got a pretty good score here. 0.7%. Anytime you can get under one, it's a good play.
Yeah.
Especially with this one because it's all career achievement stuff. So they're bigger names, so it's kind of harder to score low. Kenny Lofton, 0.7%, 2,000 plus career hits and a gold glove. You mentioned your last stop in the bigs was in Cleveland. Kenny Lofton, obviously, for the most part, a Cleveland Indian for his career. What do you got? Hall of Name, Kenny Lofton.
So Kenny Lofton, I don't know if we did do this before. I know we talked off the air that some of these names might be regurgitated. I don't know if we did talk about Kenny. Maybe we did. Anyway, Kenny Lofton, I played with him in 96 and part of 97. And for a guy that was a superstar for Cleveland, he was probably one of the nicer guys and treated me like I was one of the guys that belonged there from day one. Kenny Lofton, I still text him every now and then. We keep in touch. We used to go on Nike trips together. He's really good at golf. We know he's really good at basketball. We know that too. But Kenny like always promised to send me some shoes when I got traded to Cleveland. He had the fancy spikes. This was when nobody had fancy shoes except for Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay.
Well, Kenny Lofton had some fancy shoes too. And I kept asking him when I got traded, I said, please, can you send me some spikes? Send me some spikes. And he kept saying he was going to send me spikes, and just it never ended up happening. And I know he felt bad about it. He kept telling me that he was trying to send them and they never got sent. But I always wanted Kenny Lofton spikes because they were so cool. But the biggest thing with Kenny Lofton, and this is, you can go and find this on YouTube or whatever, MLB.com. There's a game against Baltimore Orioles. Your boy Paul Shuey's pitching.
Okay.
I'm in the bullpen, and this is at the old Jake. I still call it the Jake Progressive Field or whatever, where the bullpens were. The bullpens were in center field, and so there was like a opening right at the home run fence where you could sit underneath and watch the game if you wanted to, or you could stand up top where pitchers warm up. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not like a tunnel, but so yeah, you could stand up on top of the bullpen and watch the game. So I'm up there watching, just kind of like hanging out, got my hat off. Shuey's pitching. BJ Surhoff hits it. 99% sure it's BJ Surhoff. Oh, North Carolina guy.
Yeah, so that'd be wild.
Yeah, he smokes a ball straightaway center, and it's coming right at me. And I'm like standing right here, just looking at it, and like, this ball's going to hit me. And I'm like, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. Out of nowhere, Kenny Lofton's glove comes up, robs the home run right in front of my face. And like, because I couldn't see him coming because I'm watching the ball. He jumps up right in front of my face and snags the ball. And you just see me go like this. And then it pans out to him throwing the ball back in. It is absolutely amazing. I had a front row view of one of the reasons he's got a Gold Glove. It was just, it was fantastic.
All right, I'm going to try to pinpoint this and find this. So this, you said, what year was this? This would have been 96.
96.
96.
Yeah.
Lofton robbing, we think, BJ Surhoff.
I'm pretty sure it's BJ Surhoff.
That's got to be fun. If I find that, I'm going to then have to ask both Paul and BJ about it.
It's right here. I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Send me the link. Send me the link. I'll put it, like, we'll put it in the notes for the episode.
Kenny Lofton ascends the fence to rob BJ Surhoff of a home run. And it doesn't say it's off Paul Shuey, but you'll see it's off Paul Shuey.
Yeah, you can't miss him.
That's our guy. That's our guy. Yeah. And he had this certain delivery. Oh my gosh, there it is. Okay, so I didn't go like this. I'm like, I guess I said, no, he caught it. Yeah.
That's
incredible. My gosh, dude.
Yeah. I love that. All right.
I just sent it to you.
All right. So I'm going to link that in the notes for this episode. So those listening can pull it up and find it. Maybe we need to do a little bit more. You've referenced some specific things. Maybe we need to do a little bit more of that. See if we can pinpoint them and kind of make it easy on listeners and put it there. But that's
So I sent it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, "Yep, that's Paul Shuey. That's BJ Surhoff. And there's this clown Graves pointing at." Yeah, it's awesome.
Kenny Lofton, by the way, should be Hall of Famer.
I think so too. I think so too. Dude, there wasn't many guys. Yes, so underrated. There wasn't many guys that, like, when I was playing and the running game was big, like, you knew guys were going to steal, but there weren't guys stealing 70 or 80 bases anymore except Kenny Lofton. Like,
right.
You almost tried harder to not let him get on base, because if he got on base, you knew he was going to steal. He'd steal second, he'd steal third. Yeah, he was awesome.
So I've got your career numbers against Lofton pulled up. Do you recall any times that you faced him?
Yeah, he tried to bunt. He tried to drag bunt off me when I was closing in Cincinnati, and I went barehanded and threw him out one year.
That was in the 13th.
13th. Okay.
Top of the
Yeah.
13th inning. It was a 5-5 game. July 14th, 2001. You faced him twice in extra innings in that game.
So I don't know what he did the first time. I don't remember. He didn't get on, did he?
No. Fly ball to deep left.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So any idea what your like career line? That's 0 for 2, as we identified. Any idea what your career line against him would be, or his against you?
I feel like I don't feel like he got any hits off me. But did he? There's one.
He got 2.
He got 2. Okay. What were they?
Weak ground balls. He ran out both.
Okay. Okay.
This one, it's this. So 99.
Steve.
Yeah. 99, you faced him and he grounded out. Oh, this one must have ricocheted off your foot to the shortstop. And they got the force out at second to end the game, it looks like. You got ahead of Kenny a lot. That was on an 0-2 count. Second and third times you ever faced him, he singled on ground balls. One was to the right side of the infield.
Okay, so he probably hit it to where first baseman goes to get it, and I don't get over in time because he's like extremely fast.
Yeah.
Were those all with Cleveland? Because I know
those were
Pittsburgh
both with Cleveland.
Year?
Yeah,
Okay.
you faced him 4 times in 2003 when he was a Pirate.
Okay, and he didn't get any hits then.
He was 0 for 4 on you, correct? So for his career, he was 2 for 10 on you. 11 plate appearances. He walked once. You struck him out once. Actually, the last time you ever faced him was the only time you struck him out.
Nice. Now that's the way to end something, not giving up a homer to end the career. Geez, Kenny, 0 for 4 in 2003. That was my worst year ever. And he was 0 for 4.
Yeah.
He might have been trying to find his swing then. Or maybe he felt bad for me.
Yeah, you were starting that year, right?
Yeah.
Some of these are in the first and second innings. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I remember that game vividly, the 13th inning where he tried to bunt. And I don't know if this was Holbert Cabrera. Do you have the lineup sheet there? Like the box score?
Yeah, give me
because Holbert Cabrera either was batting right before him or right after him. Maybe right after him. I don't know.
Okay. Kenny Lofton was leading off. Omar Vizquel was hitting second. Alomar, Gonzalez.
Okay, what about who was hitting ninth?
Holbert Cabrera entered the game as a substitute for Ellis Burks. He played in left and then moved to third base. He was hitting 7th, it looks like.
Okay, so maybe it was the inning before that I faced him. He had a chopper to first that I ran over and grabbed. I don't remember if they called him safe or not, but we kind of ran into each other. I thought he was out.
He was safe because Holbert Cabrera was 2 for 2 in that game. This is wild.
Okay, so
you remember this stuff.
Yeah, they called him safe, and I swear I beat him to the bag. We ran into each other, and there's no replay then. Like we ran into each other, and I know I tagged the base first. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was so like jacked up that game. I was running all over the place trying to get every ball, every bunt, every ground ball. Omar Vizquel might have tried to bunt off me that game too.
I'm just pouring through the box score here. Dave Burba started for you guys. That's a name. That's a good one to remember.
No, Burba started for Cleveland.
Or for them. Yeah.
Yeah, because we traded for him for Sean Casey a couple years before that.
Yeah. Okay. So Burba started. They threw Shuey. They threw Ricardo Rincon. They threw Bob Wickman. And they threw Rich Rodriguez.
Okay.
We're doing that thing where the memes of dudes just saying players' names. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, but this is going to get them to go check themselves. If they don't believe us, we're just doing what Baseball Reference is saying.
This
or
is
Stathead.
good. Oh man,
So
I love looking into this stuff. It's like
I do too.
Your guys' lineup was so awesome. Pokey Reese leading off, Dimitri Young 2, Griffey 3, Sean Casey 4, Aaron Boone, Michael Tucker, Kelly Stinnett, Bill Selby.
Bill Selby. Oh my gosh! So what year was that one?
This was July 14th, 2001.
Okay. Yeah. That was we were on our downside. 99 was a great year. 2000 was, we had a winning season, got Griffey, but then the next year it went downhill.
Yeah. You guys in the Indians had basically inverted records at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. They were really good. I remember. Yeah. I mean, Ellis Burks was like, people don't remember Ellis Burks played for Cleveland. Also
underrated. Like he
so
was
underrated.
Stud. He had some really good years. He actually homered in this game. He was 2 for 4 with a home run.
Nice. Well, he's an awesome guy too, by the way. Like I never played with him, but he was our when I went back to Cleveland at the end of my career, he was the hitting coordinator, the roving hitting coordinator. So anytime he would come to Buffalo, when I got sent down to AAA that year, we would just hang out and talk baseball. And like, he was such a good dude, man. And this Ellis Burks, I used to go to spring training watching him in Winter Haven, Florida, when the Red Sox were there. And this Ellis Burks was a stud coming up with Boston.
Yeah.
And just to be able to talk baseball with him was just incredible.
I love that. That's such good stuff.
See, we could just keep talking about this.
We really could. Like, I know we get a little anxious, like, okay, well, what are we even going to talk about when it's the off season? I could just start naming people and we're going to go.
Yeah.
Like that's maybe that's the plan for next time. Maybe that's what we'll do.
I was going to say, yeah. Like, I mean, if we need to cover the ETC part of this for the summertime, then we can just like ramble names and stories.
Let's
and then you got to give me some stories about, like, I love hearing the stories about you talking with these coaches when they're not big leaguing everybody, when there's no pressure on them, you know? Yeah.
I guess I got a story here or there. It pales in comparison, but we got some stories here or there. We'll just more storytelling on ACC Baseball Etc to come for the remainder of the summer. Some big stuff planned for next spring. Obviously, teams are going to start meeting for fall ball here pretty soon. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll have some stuff built around that. So looking forward to another year. I think we never really got a chance to like properly cap the year too, Gravy. Like, I want to extend a thank you to the guys at D1 Baseball, which now I guess includes us. This was our first year under their watch, under their umbrella. They could not have been better. I got to go cover the College World Series in Omaha because of it. Like, that was a dream come true. Obviously, just like being able to talk to the players and coaches that we do and provide those stories for people has just been awesome. So I'm really, really excited to jump into year 2 with them. Yeah,
it's been, I'm telling you, like, I don't think people on the outside understand how big D1 baseball is, because we got so many more viewers and listeners because of them, you know? And I'm not saying that we weren't doing okay. We were doing okay, but we're not. I think our show just kind of skyrocketed once D1 had us on. So thank you to everybody there. It's been amazing. It's been really cool. Really cool.
For sure. All right. That's a good note to end on. Good note to end on.
Yeah.
All right. Godspeed. Have fun. Doing the regular dad stuff, the hockey dad stuff. And
I'm going to go stat head stuff right now. That's what I'm going to do.
Dude, I'm gonna go watch this video of Lofton robbing Surhoff. That's gonna be great.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, whoa! You're gonna be so jacked up. It's so cool. Yeah. And
All
then
right,
watch
that'll
the
do it.
reaction of Chewy too, by the way, after he lets go of the
I'm going to
pitch.
text Chewy to see if he remembers it because, I mean, he has to because
He has
it
to.
was
It was
DJ.
against the former Tar Heel. He's got to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he does. I bet he does.
And you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, it's an out. It's over. It's an oper. That's what it is.
That's what he's going to say. All right. That does it for us today. Look at that. We had nothing to talk about and went 45 minutes. Danny, that's a good show. Good show. Thanks for joining us.
I haven't got a chance to talk in a while, so.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining us on ACC Baseball Etc. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, rate and review, all that regular social media stuff. It's 2024. You know what you're doing when we ask you to do those things. So we would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, we'll catch you later.
So long.